Today's episode of the Goldcast is sponsored by that uneasy, queasy feeling you have the night before a conference championship game. Obviously, we've got possibly 7 here. I think maybe closer to 6. But that's what this episode is sponsored by. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about just conference finals, what they mean for fans as the Warriors and Rockets get ready to go get this done tomorrow, begin the journey. And we're going to talk a little bit about them Cavs losing.
An awesome Mother's Day.
And then, right? And then we're going to talk about the Giants finally winning. But before we do that, Raymond, why don't you let them know, where can they find us?
You can like us on Facebook.com/The Goldcast. You can also follow us on Twitter at The Goldcast _. You can also follow us on Instagram at The Goldcast. You can also subscribe to us via iTunes, YouTube, and Stitcher, all under the same moniker, The Goldcast. Like, subscribe, comment. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. All right, here we go. We're going to get into it. Let's do it. First, Goldcast intro. Let's get busy.
San Francisco, are you ready?
This is the Goldcast.
Boom! Welcome to another edition of the Goldcast. We are the voice of the Bay. I'm your host, Rudy Solis III, and with me is my brother, my co-host,
Raymond Lisa first, baby.
Boom! All right. Western Conference Finals begin tomorrow. Warriors at Rockets. Someone asked, Louis B., our LA co-host, who's usually here during the NFL season in and out. He's one of those pesky Rams fans. He asked me on a text thread about a week and a half ago, out of all the teams, Raymond, left, which there was still maybe 8, who do I want to play in the Western Conference Finals? To which I quickly responded, the Houston Rockets. They're the number 1 seed. I want to play the best. I hope they're all healthy. I hope they're ready to go, because they're not ready. Houston's not ready. James Harden is not ready. Let's go. Let's go. So here's the thing now. Conference finals for me as a fan, they really get to me. They freak me out. I have to admit, the game I hate the most, the game that freaks me the most out is the NFC Championship. Mainly because the Niners have lost more NFC championships than any other team in NFL history, because we're always one game away from the Super Bowl. God damn it. But conference finals, man, it's I'm really confident. I'm also, of course, really nervous. But conference finals, there's just you're just so close. You're so close. You're just one series away. You're one win away. You're one game. You're right there. The championship the finals is just around the corner. The Super Bowl is just around the corner. It's right there. You can almost taste it. But you have to get through this one more effing series. One more. And it's you're so close, but you feel so far. And that's what conference finals, they just get me all in a tizzy. I'm all twisted up inside. That's how I feel. So I want to ask you, Raymond, how do you feel about NFC championships, Western Conference Finals, NLCS, National League Conference championships? Where are you at? Where are you at on these? The series or the game before the championship round? How do you feel?
I think like any ardent fan, there's, a little bit of nervousness, a little bit of excitement, a little bit of everything, because I think we kind of vicariously, live the experience through our favorite players. You see how we all react to games. It's like we're part of the coaching staff, or we're part of the roster. Everyone talks as if fans always talk as if they're somehow involved in the game. How come they're not doing this? How come they're not doing that? And get all crazy. And then when we lose, we all pout, and it's like
we use the word "we" a lot.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think with anything, there's always, a little bit of nerves, and you want to win. You want your team to win. You want to see them win. You want to celebrate a win because, sports is a big part of our culture. So anytime there's an opportunity for your team to really go deep into the tournament, it's always exciting, especially when they pull it off. And I think that, the Warriors can definitely do it against the Rockets. They've been doing this longer. They're more polished. They're deeper. The regular season series is irrelevant because this is a different brand of basketball at this point. So we're going to see the best of the best. And I just don't trust Chris Paul or James Harden. James Harden's been to a conference finals before. He lost to us in 2015 when his team was not as good, but good enough to get there. And this, I think, is the best roster he's had collectively. But I don't trust Chris Paul, and I think he's going to be the weak link because Steph Curry can guard him very well. Klay Thompson can, can serve, he can give trouble to James Harden because, James Harden can be, there was a game, what is it, the last time they played where Klay Thompson, Klay Thompson's just a terrific defender, so I expect a lot more two-way play to him. James Harden, we know, does not play great defense consistently. Chris Paul does. He's always been a great defender, but I don't, at his age and in this conference finals, I don't trust him to be able to keep up with Steph Curry because that's obviously going to be his assignment. So unless they do a lot of switching, which I don't expect, he might be able to take on some of the second unit guys, but I don't really see that. Chris Paul, picking on some of the second unit guys, like, perhaps Cook or something like that. But I don't really, he's never defended Steph Curry very well, and there's a famous scene of him like losing his footing when Steph Curry's, juking him with his dribbling and skills. And so I see that same thing happening now, especially on this big stage. I don't think Chris Paul is going to handle it very well in this first game. I'd be very surprised if he did, but I don't expect him to. And I think he's going to kind of be the weak link for them in this first game. And that's going to lead to the Warriors stealing the first one in Houston, which is they need to take at least one away from them in this home game. Best case scenario, two.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this then. Where do they go? Do they split the series in Houston? What's the order? Tell me how many games they win by. What's the order? What happens? I mean, you don't have to be. I'm not holding you to it, but what do you think is the general order of this series? How it's going to go?
I think they're going to win. I think there's a good chance that they split these first two games. The Warriors win the first game. The Rockets win the second game. Then the Warriors come back and they probably. I think the Warriors probably take one or two games, both games at home, and then drop another one in Houston, and then finish them out in Houston. If it goes to 6.
So you say Warriors in 6?
Yeah, I think 6. Yeah. I think the Rockets are good enough to
I think
put
it
up
goes
a
to
6.
Fight. Yeah, I think it goes to 6 as well. God, the conference finals to me are always so stressful. The championship is always very stressful too. But I guess it's so stressful because it's so hard. You're just so close. And yeah, conferences this. I mean, it's not, I'll say this. How I feel during an NFC championship game is way more stress than how I'm going to feel tomorrow. I don't know what to expect tomorrow. If you put a gun to my head, I think Rockets win game 1, Warriors win game 2. That's what I think is going to happen. But I don't know. I don't know. But gun to my head, I think Rockets win them all. Warriors take game 2. I think maybe the home crowd that, it's sometimes, it's a little overwhelming that first game because it's just the crowd is so against you and the crowd plays such a huge role in all this. But I agree. They're not ready. Houston, you're not ready. Let's go. Warriors, let's go. Let's go. Yeah, they're not ready. But I don't know if I'm ready. These, like I said, these stress me out. These kind of games stress me out. So let's move over. Speaking of game 1, Boston shocks the world and takes down LeBron handily.
I don't find it.
What was the final score? Do you know what the final?
It's 108-83. They killed them. 25 points.
What was your prediction going into this series? What did you say? You probably said it on last week's episode, but I don't remember. That was a week ago. I can't keep track of what happened on this Goldcast a week ago.
I think the Celtics can win this because they play defense. They have a deeper team and they play defense. And the reason why, and the Raptors don't play consistent defense, and they have a psychological hang-up against LeBron James, which was very evident, even though that on paper and throughout the course of the season, the Raptors gave every indication that they had assembled a team that was, at a position to finally get over the hump of LeBron James, and they couldn't do it. They just couldn't do it. And the Celtics are a completely different beast. They lost both all-stars that they traded for in the offseason, and they've managed to somehow find
and
new
they're still here.
Confidence. Yeah. And they found new confidence, which gives, I think it begs, it begs to give a lot of credit to Brad Stevens for what he's done, not only schematically, but also how he's kind of kept them together. I think a normal team, your average team would have lost faith after. It'd be like if the 76ers lost their two all-stars, but somehow kept fighting into the tournament. I think most teams would have bowed out, but these guys haven't. And I think that they feel really, really confident. I don't think they could beat a team like the Warriors if they were to go to the finals, because that would be a different beast. The Cavs aren't going to defend you they don't defend consistently. And if you just focus on their offense, force James to be a shooter. He's obviously not going to have a poor scoring night like he did tonight every single game. But if you pick on him enough and force the other team to try to beat you, you're going to win 4 games out of 7.
But what was your original prediction? Did you even have one?
I don't think.
What was your original prediction?
I don't think we talked about I don't think we talked about this series.
I don't think we did too. So what? Let me ask you, what did you think before today's game, and has today's game changed that opinion?
I thought Celtics the whole time. And I
really?
Still think Celtics.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're deeper and they play defense. It's a complete reverse of the series the Cavs were just in. So I'm not too surprised at the results. I'm happy about the results, and I think it speaks volumes about the Celtics' preparation for the Cavaliers. They knew exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. The Cavs are obviously going to adjust in Game 2, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
I don't think it's going to be enough either. I hope it's not enough. Now, here's the thing. If Celtics go down 0-2, Cavs go down 0-2, oh, boy. Oh, boy, Cleveland. Oh, your backsides, they're going to be tight. Them sphincters is going to close. Backside's getting tense. Feeling the pressure. Don't know what to do. That Cleveland stink all over you. The dark cloud of Cleveland. I'm just pretending that I'm just like trolling the one Cleveland fan who's listening to this. Why are you listening to us? I have no idea. But thank you for your patronage. But still.
I like how you assume there's a Cavaliers fan listening.
You're not ready. All right? You're not ready. The one Cleveland fan who's listening to us, just know your team's not ready. Houston's not ready. Let's go. Every time, James Harden has kind of been his usual postseason self, brilliant at times, inconsistent at times. I just don't think he handles the pressure very well, and I believe that really is what the Rockets are going to succumb to. I just don't think they're built for the pressure. The Warriors have been here 3 times in a row. They've won 2. They've done this before. They've been here before. This is not a new thing for them. And so for Houston, Chris Paul's never been in a Western Conference Finals. We understand what it's going to be like going into the other stadium. We understand the kind of pressure. We understand what it takes to win. We've been here before. They've not. And I think that is going to prove to be the difference. And I also think Kerr's a better coach than D'Antoni. So, they play a lot of iso ball. Obviously Jack just, more threes than anybody else. But
yeah, they're last
actually invented
in the association in passing. This is a team that's last in the association in passing.
Really? They're last in Wow.
Yeah, and the Warriors are like top 3.
This is like this is like D'Antoni's wet dream. This team is like a D'Antoni team on steroids.
It is offensively, but the reason why he's never won one, because he never plays defense. That's why Steve Nash couldn't take him over the hump.
because they didn't play enough defense, which is sad because I would have loved to see Steve Nash get a ring.
Yeah, so it's going to be great. I cannot wait. Let's go. Let's go. I'm ready. Raymond, Giants on Mother's Day, finally, for the moms. How many games did we lose?
Ouch.
7? Was that
6.
7 in a row?
No, 6.
I think it was 6. Just as bad. I mean, 6, yet that doesn't matter. They're just as bad. They're all brutal. Yeah, it was really, really brutal. Happy to finally, congratulations to all the SF Giant mom fans out there for the boys getting a win. I know it's still early. I know it's May. Dodgers seem to have found the rhythm. Giants have lost their rhythm. We're under 500 again. But plenty of time to come back. But the pitching is atrocious on this team. The offense is amazing. The pitching is atrocious. It's atrocious.
It's up and down. Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not. I think the young guns, if the young guns can just kind of find themselves, it would make a huge difference, especially since, all of the big guns are not in there, with the exception of, Cueto's out now. Now Cueto's out, and Bumgarner's still out of there too. So it's just crazy. I don't know how they're going to keep it together, but they need to do something, because it's not working. Whatever's happening is not working.
Yeah, they need to do something, because this is, pitching. It's also really weird to see a Giants team that isn't built around pitching. It's kind of surprising to see this offense, because we never had this during that dynasty, and now to see us have a pretty stellar offense comparatively to previous Giants team, and then no pitching is so weird. This is the inverse of the fundamentals we won 3 World Series rings on. And if we're going to turn this boat around, we've got to get back to basics when it comes to those pitchings. And it just seems like it's not even about being back to basics. It's more like it just doesn't even seem like we have the talent capable of even doing it.
Yeah, I think they do offensively, but the pitching just needs to get more consistent, and they've got Kurt Young as their pitching coach, which is, he's a long-time Oakland Athletic coach and was, did wonders for that pitching staff over the course of the years, dealing with all of their, all-star trades, periodic all-star trades, whether it's an arm or a bat, but he always kind of kept the pitching staffs, in check no matter what. So from the starters to the bullpen to the closers. So I just would like to see that same productivity, translate over here, but it's been kind of up and down. That's all right. This is the time of the season where it's still gelling, still taking time to gel. I think the end of May and June are going to be good months for the Giants. I think that's when everything's going to come together. So, the first half of the season, the offense
Once
wasn't doing
everyone
much.
comes back.
Yeah, and then so it's been out of rhythm, right? Because it's a rhythm sport. So the first half of the season when they opened up, pitching was bad, offense was bad. Then pitching got good, offense quite wasn't there. Then pitching kind of slowed down a little bit, and then the bats woke up against the Braves, and the pitching was actually doing great against the Braves too. But then after that, we lost 6 straight, and the pitching went out the door, and the offense kind of went out the door. With the exception of a couple games, we scored 5 runs, shut out the Pittsburgh Pirates today. We scored 5 runs yesterday, but we also allowed 6 runs. So, it's just a rhythm sport. They just got to find a rhythm to win more than lose.
Well, and that's the thing. The Giants, it looks like we're good for 4 to 6 runs, but you can't let Philly score, have 3 of 2 games, or 2 of 3 games, and you can't let them put 11 on the board. You can't throw up 11. 11 jacks. Are you kidding me? That's insane. And this is baseball. This isn't football, man. That's hella hard to come back from. 11 jacks, it wasn't home runs, but 11 points. Come on, man.
So I think they'll be all right. Baseball's a long season, so people shouldn't be, they should be happy that the 6-game losing streak's over, because we dipped below 500, and the goal is to stay above 500 by at least 3 to 5 games right now. So they need to get back to that. They're at home now, so they're done traveling. So it was obviously a really bad road trip for them, for the most part. They played the Braves, they swept the Braves, which is great, but then they couldn't do anything against the Pirates or the Phillies, with the exception of one, game. So I think the Reds come into town tomorrow. Then after that the Rockies. So, and then the Astros. And then the Astros aren't too great right now. So I think these next 3 series will be a good opportunity for them to kind of get back on track.
Well, we're going to see. Raymond, tomorrow begins the Western Conference Finals. You say Warriors are going to win. I think the Rockets will win game 1. We both agree Warriors in 6. Bay Area, this is the quest for the dynasty. We are on the verge. If we win this year, 2 dynasties in 10 years, 6 rings, 8 championship appearances, all 3 major sports. 49ers, Giants, Warriors. The Niners loss hurts even more. But let's go Golden State. Let's hope they turn this one out. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they win tomorrow. Raymond, before we leave, why don't you let them know where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Ray Solis. You can also find me on Instagram at RaySolis1.
And you can find me on Instagram at RudySolis3 and then on Twitter at RudySolis3rd, RudySolis3RD. So concludes another edition of the Goldcast. We are the voice of the Bay. I'm your host, Rudy Solis III, and with me is my brother, my co-host,
Raymond Solis the First, baby.
Boom! We'll see you next time. Same Goldcast time, same Goldcast channel.
This is the Goldcast.